Have you ever wondered what makes that bright red sauce on your holiday table so special? Well, it all starts with a tiny fruit called a cranberry, and this berry has a secret superpower. Did you know that a fresh cranberry can actually bounce? It's true. If you drop a perfectly ripe fresh cranberry onto a hard surface, it will bounce right back up, kind of like a tiny rubber ball. This bounciness is all thanks to 4 little air pockets hidden deep inside every single berry. These pockets aren't just for fun though. They are the key to how these amazing fruits are gathered from the fields, turning the whole process into a giant floating berry party. These air pockets act like tiny built-in life jackets. When it's time for the cranberries to be picked, farmers use this amazing feature to their advantage in a really cool and surprising way. Instead of picking each berry by hand, which would take forever, they use water to help them. The air inside the berries makes them lighter than water, so when their homes get flooded, they don't sink. Instead, they bob right up to the top, ready to be collected. It's a brilliant trick of nature that farmers have learned to use, making the cranberry harvest one of the most unique and interesting sights in the farming world. It's a sea of red. So, the next time you see a bowl of cranberries, you can think about the secret hiding inside. Each one is like a miniature balloon, filled with just enough air to make it float. This isn't just a fun fact to share with your family. It's the entire reason the harvest works the way it does. Without those tiny pockets of air, gathering millions and millions of these tart little gems would be an incredibly difficult job. The bounciness is a sign of a good, healthy berry, and it's the first clue to understanding the wonderful and watery world of cranberry farming, a world that is full of scientific surprises and amazing natural helpers. This floating ability is what allows for a process called wet harvesting, which is how most of the cranberries you eat are collected. It's a method that is not only efficient but also looks absolutely incredible. Imagine a huge field, not of green, but of shimmering crimson-red berries floating on the water's surface, stretching as far as you can see. It is a beautiful sight, all made possible by the simple science of buoyancy. That little pocket of air is a very big deal, and it's just the beginning of the cranberry's amazing story, which takes place in a very special kind of environment. Cranberries don't just grow in any ordinary field or garden. They need a very specific and special home called a bog. A bog is a type of wetland with soil that is very different from the dirt in your backyard. It's made up of layers of sand, gravel, clay, and something called peat, which is made from old, decayed plant material. This combination creates a soil that is very acidic, which is just how cranberries like it. These bogs are found mostly in the northern parts of the United States and in Canada, where the climate is perfect for the cranberries' long growing season, which lasts all the way from spring to fall. Building and maintaining a cranberry bog is a major science experiment in itself. Farmers carefully create these beds to hold water, almost like a giant shallow bathtub. The low-lying cranberry vines spread across the floor of the bog, forming a thick green carpet for most of the year. Throughout the growing season, farmers have to make sure the plants get just the right amount of fresh water. These bogs are more than just farms. They are complex ecosystems, full of life and carefully balanced to help the cranberries thrive and produce the tart, flavorful fruit we all enjoy. It's a delicate dance with nature. People often think that cranberries grow underwater all year round, but that's a common myth. For most of their lives, the cranberries are high and dry, growing on their vines in the open air. The bog is only flooded with water twice a year. The first time is in the winter, when a layer of water is frozen over the plants to protect them from the harsh, cold air. This ice shield acts like a cozy blanket, keeping the delicate vines safe until the spring arrives and it's time to start growing again. The second time the bog is flooded is the most exciting time of all, the harvest. So, a bog is a perfect custom-made home for a cranberry. Its unique acidic peat soil and its ability to hold water are essential for a successful crop. Farmers who work with these bogs are like scientists, constantly monitoring the soil, the water levels, and the health of the plants. They understand that this special environment is the foundation for everything. Without the bog, there would be no bouncy, floating berries. And it's within this watery world that the harvest becomes a truly spectacular event, with a little help from some surprising 8-legged friends who also call the bog their home. When the cranberries turn from green to that famous deep red color in the fall, it means they are ripe and ready. This is when the magic of the wet harvest begins. Farmers start by flooding the entire bog with about 1.5 feet of water, completely covering all the cranberry vines. Suddenly, the green field transforms into a shallow lake. but the berries are still attached to their vines under the water. To get them loose, farmers drive special machines called egg beaters through the bog. These machines have large reels that churn the water, creating gentle currents that knock the berries off the vines without crushing them. Once the berries are knocked free, their secret superpower takes over. Thanks to those tiny air pockets inside, all of the ripe cranberries float up to the surface of the water. In just a few hours, the entire surface of the bog becomes a solid floating mat of brilliant red berries. It's an amazing sight. This floating carpet of fruit can be several inches thick and cover the entire area of the bog. It's a sea of cranberries, and now the easiest part of the job can begin, gathering them all together. It's a much smarter way to work than trying to pick every single berry from the vines one by one. To collect the floating berries, farmers use long, floating planks called booms. They wade into the water wearing tall waterproof pants called waders, and slowly push the booms across the bog. This is like using a giant rake to gently corral all the cranberries into one corner of the bog. Slowly but surely, the massive red blanket of fruit is gathered into a smaller, thicker area. From there, a special pump or conveyor belt is used to suck the berries out of the water and onto a truck. The berries are then taken to be cleaned, sorted, and packaged, ready to become juice, sauce, or dried snacks. This whole process is a fantastic example of how people can use science and nature to solve a problem. The farmers know that cranberries float, so they designed a whole harvesting method around that one simple fact. It's efficient, it's gentle on the fruit, and it's truly incredible to watch. The water used for the harvest isn't wasted either. It is often moved to the next bog to be used again. But there's another secret to keeping these cranberries healthy long before the harvest even begins. And it involves some of the bog's tiniest residents who work as the farmers' little helpers. Now here's a fact that might surprise you. Cranberry bogs are full of spiders. But don't worry, these spiders are actually the farmers' best friends. The most common kind you'll find is the wolf spider. These spiders are natural predators, and they act as a security team for the cranberries. Instead of using lots of chemical sprays to get rid of bugs, cranberry farmers encourage wolf spiders to live in their bogs. Why? Because these spiders love to eat the very insects, like weevils and fruit worms, that would otherwise damage the cranberry plants and their fruit. They are a natural, built-in form of pest control. When the bogs are flooded for the harvest, all the spiders that live on the ground have to find a place to go to escape the rising water. They climb up the cranberry vines, and when the berries float to the surface, the spiders often end up floating along with them. This is why you might sometimes see pictures of spiders crawling on the floating cranberries. It might look a little spooky, but it's actually a sign of a very healthy and environmentally friendly farm. It means the farmer is using fewer pesticides and letting nature do the hard work of protecting the crop. I know some people might feel a bit worried about spiders, but wolf spiders are not dangerous to humans. They are usually shy and would much rather run away than bother anyone. Plus, when the cranberries are collected from the water, they go through a very thorough cleaning process. They are rinsed, bounced, and sorted multiple times, so by the time they get to you in the store, there are no eight-legged friends left in the bag. The spiders are just temporary visitors on the floating berries, trying to stay dry before they return to their homes in the bog. This partnership between farmers and spiders is a fantastic example of sustainable farming. By creating a habitat where predators like wolf spiders can thrive, farmers can protect their crops without harming the environment with unnecessary chemicals. This helps keep the water clean and supports biodiversity, which means lots of different kinds of plants and animals can live happily in and around the bog. So, the next time you enjoy a glass of cranberry juice, you can thank the farmers and the amazing eight-legged farmhands that helped protect the berries from harm, making your treat both delicious and planet-friendly.